Hello everyone, this is Tila Raja from Perfect Pronunciation Academy. Today I'm going to be talking about how do you adopt the SNE, Standard Neutral English posture. So that's the accent I explained before in the video before, that's what I teach, and how do we actually practice it. Now there is lots of ways, how we hold our mouth when we speak a different language. So they're called holding postures, and different languages and different cultures have different holding postures. I'll go through all the holding postures, and then we will talk about why it's important to adopt a specific posture for the SNE accent, which is your neutral accent pretty much. Let me just drop my document over there. Okay, so there are 4 different types of holding postures that we've got. So one of them is the forwards accent, forwards posture. Now this is when your tongue is pretty high up and your lips are quite rounded when you're speaking. The common accents of people, and I cannot imitate them, are people who speak French and Southern Irish. So their mouths are quite like this and quite rounded, and they sound quite forward, or the sounds are speaking forward. That's my attempt at copying an accent. I'm sorry, it's terrible. Shoot me if you're French or Spanish, Irish, I mean. So that's a forward accent when your sounds are really quite in the front of your mouth and your lips are rounded. There's another accent and the sideways posture where you actually, your lips and your tongue and your jaw go sideways when you're speaking, and they're really quite spread out, and your tongue is quite flat and it's quite, across the whole mouth. And you get quite a lot of nasal speak in that because your tongue is really quite flat. A lot of air escapes through your nose. And sometimes American English sounds a bit like that, and maybe Australians as well. The accent sounds a bit more nasal because they're a bit more broad. The mouth, it doesn't open as much. There's more like, not like a grimace, but like a smile of some sort. The flatter your mouth, the flatter your tongue, the more tendency there is to sound nasal. Okay, so that's the sideways mouth posture. The third one is the central mouth posture. That's a holding posture. What do I mean by central? That means everything's held fairly neutrally. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw is held pretty neutrally, like what I'm doing right now. So nothing moves too much. There's not much rounding that's happening over here, like how I'm doing. There's not much rounding at all. Now this is very common to languages like Mandarin, an Asian language, or Russian. So when clients with these language backgrounds see me, I often tell them they have to practice opening their mouth quite a fair bit, because with the central posture, nothing kind of moves, and that's the way that they speak their language. There's nothing wrong with the posture. It's just that it doesn't quite suit English when you're speaking it, because in English you have to move lots of other things as well. Now, coming down to the neutral accent, that is called the up and down. Literally, I hope my mic doesn't do that. Like that, like hot potato, like that. That kind of a mouth shape you want to have, up and down, and your mouth is like an O shape. So your tongue is low and is held quite far back, and your lip rounding is encouraged. So like that. I know I looked a bit weird when I was doing that, but that is a practice for you to practice. So not like this, not sideways, up and down. And it's quite nasal overlay is quite discouraged as well in that. And not only the neutral accent, there's quite a lot of different languages or accents that employ this strategy. There's the South African accent, the received pronunciation, which is a Queen's English, and the standard neutral English. So for you to practice that, you would have to literally stop dropping your jaw and rounding your lips. So maintaining a narrow space in your mouth as though there's like a tall building sitting on your tongue. Okay, so, and just bear in mind that adopting a new accent or adopting a new way of speaking requires you to adopt a different holding posture. So it doesn't come, you just don't learn the A in a different way. You learn how to hold your mouth in a different way, and then you learn how to speak the sounds on top of it. Because if you hold your mouth the same way, the backward way, the central way, or the forward way, it's very hard for you to learn new sounds. So just bear that in mind, and remember that you have to actually adopt and change your holding posture. Alrighty, that is it from me today. Be sure to join my email list at perfectpronunciationacademy.com to pick up my private exclusive freebies which are unadvertised to the public and only to you, my listeners and my watchers. See you then. Bye.